Hello and welcome back to another class with Ola English with Greg. Now today I'm going to give you a little bit of a different class. I'm going to give you a conversational class in which you are going to learn a ton of common useful expressions and ways of expressing yourself in English. So if you're ready, let's begin. I'm Greg from olaonlinelanguageacademy.com. If you want to reach a high level of spoken English, then click up there. Right, today's video is conversational. I'm going to answer 20 completely random questions about me. If you like this video and you've got more questions that you want me to answer for you, write your questions in the comments. If I get 10 or 20 comments with suitable questions, then I will do another video like this for you. So I haven't actually seen these questions yet, and the idea is behind this conversational class is that I'm just going to answer relatively short answers. I'm going to answer them naturally and honestly, and then I'm going to teach you the most useful chunks. Chunks are groups of words which I think it's very important for you to learn if you want to speak English fluently and also to understand English more easily. Okay, let's have a look at the questions then. Bring them on. I actually quite enjoy my job, and when I start working, if I've got enough caffeine and enough brain power, I could just continue for 10, 12, 15 hours. I enjoy what I do. So I would probably choose 4 days of 10 hours a week and a 3-day weekend. That would be great. YouTube, Facebook, and the football app that tells me the football scores when Liverpool are playing. All right. Also, one of my favorite apps is Google Photos. When I take photos, it automatically uploads them to Google, and from time to time they'll create a little video or a collage. It'll tell me what I was doing on this day last year, and I absolutely love that. It really takes away the hassle of me putting my photos on the computer and organizing them in folders. And if you want to search for something, if you want to search for example, a photo of my dad in London, I would type in Dad London, and it'd bring up a load of photos of my dad in London. Wow, I love that app. I couldn't live without it. Google Photos. My first job was a paper boy. I was a paper boy. I used to spend half an hour every day riding my bike up and down the hills where I'm from, delivering newspapers to people who wanted their newspapers delivered. It paid £5 per week, and I kind of did enjoy it. I didn't enjoy doing it on Saturdays, but from Monday to Friday, it was part of my routine, and I loved having a job, and I loved the fact that, unlike friends of mine, you know, I had £5 coming in every day, and yeah, I think it taught me the value of earning money from a young age. I was like 13 when I did that. Oh, there are many foods that I would not eat. I'm very boring when it comes to food. Honestly, I like meat, vegetables, chicken, you know, beef. Anything that's a little bit weird, I won't touch. And living in Spain, there's so much shellfish and so many delicacies that for me they're a bit weird and I don't eat them. Oh, octopus, shellfish, lobster, I'm not a shellfish person. Snails, oh, no way. Absolutely no, 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 no. Just boring food for me, please. Groundhog Day. I used to live in the town where Groundhog Day was filmed, and every year they show the movie at the cinema, at the movie theatre there, and it's such an emotional moment, you know, when you're in the cinema with everybody from that town, and suddenly you see your town on the big screen. It's like, wow. I mean, it's emotional. Almost brings a tear to my eye, and it makes me laugh out loud. Very funny film, and I love it. The best piece of advice I ever received was from my dad when I was about 16 years old, and we had to decide what subjects we wanted to do when we were 17 and 18 years old, in the last 2 years of school. And I was going to do scientific subjects, and I eventually changed my mind to do like maths, IT and human biology. And my dad said, you know what, why don't you do like a bit of French in there too? Because French wasn't compulsory at that age. He said, just do a little bit of French. I thought, nah. He said, just do 1 year. I said, nah, okay. He said, you know, if you do 1 year, you're going to have a foreign language on your CV where everybody else in England isn't. So just do a year of French. I thought, yeah, go on then. Go on then. I enjoy French. Let's do it. Well, the 1 year of French turned into 2 years of French, which turned into a degree at university in French, which included a year in France, which inspired me to go to Spain for a year afterwards, where I met my future wife, and she took me to America for 3 years, and now it just got me in the language world and made me want to teach and learn, and it just, what a piece of advice. What a piece of advice. Good father work. English, I think. I mean, I actually enjoy teaching English, believe it or not. So if I had to teach it at a university, I would teach English. Spoken English. Spoken English. I'd proper love a parrot. I would. I really, really love birds, and I would love one of those big macaw type parrots. The only thing is that I love them so much that I actually feel quite bad having them in my house. I would want them to be out in the forests where they belong, in the jungle. So yes, I'd love one, but I don't think I could do that to them. I would feel too bad. But for the sake of the question, I'm going to say parrot. "15 years ago, I was living in France 15 years ago, 2002. Yeah, so what would I take from France? From France, what I put in a time capsule that I could have right now? That's hard. There was a very nice fondue where I used to live called Fondue Creusois. I would like to put some of that in a time capsule and have it for lunch today. What surprised me about my current job? Let me tell you what surprised me the other day about my current job. I took my laptop to another house. All right, and when I came back, I forgot my laptop. My laptop is my life for work. You know, it's got everything on it. What surprised me was that even though I was 2 full days without my laptop, I could still work perfectly. Everything I use is online. For that very reason, like I always want to know that if my laptop gets broken or stolen, then it's not going to affect my business. And I was really surprised that it worked. So there you go. That surprised me in a very, very good way. It sounds so cliche, but I can't think of many jobs that I would rather do. I can't think of any jobs that I would rather do than the job that I do. The only negative about my job at the moment is that I don't have enough time to do more of my job. How ridiculous is that? But it's true, and if I was guaranteed to be successful, then I would just do the same thing as I'm doing right now. Is that a boring answer? If it is, then football player. The weirdest thing I've ever eaten was in Kenya. We went to some really cool restaurant in Nairobi where they serve all sorts of weird meats. And as I said before, I'm not really keen on trying different strange food, but that night I tried a few different things, including a bit of crocodile, and I probably had about like a mouthful of crocodile just so that I could say that I'd eaten it. Very weird. Shan't be trying it again, but it gives me a good answer for this question. Crocodile. The coolest road trip I've ever done was the mother of all road trips. Route 66. Yeah, me and my wife did that a couple of years ago on our last summer vacation before we had a baby. We went from Chicago and we went all the way to New Mexico. We didn't actually do the final part because we wanted to see Colorado as well, but my word, we went on a mammoth road trip around the States and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, I live in Spain now, and before this I lived in the United States. What are the biggest differences between here and there? How long have you got? I could do an entire video on this. The timetable, all right? In Spain, we tend to have lunch at 3:30. I used to have lunch at 12 in the States, and we have dinner at about, what don't we have dinner? Have dinner about 10 o'clock at night here. I used to be sleeping at 10 o'clock in the States. You know, everything is kind of 2 hours later than it should be over here in Spain. That's maybe the biggest difference and the biggest thing that it's been hard to get used to. Also, it's November and I'm wearing a t-shirt outside. In November in Chicago, it was snowing already, so that's another huge difference. It was starting to get nice and Christmassy, and it still feels like summer here. That's quite hard to get my head round as well. Role model in terms of being a good person and growing up to be a good person and a good parent and a good citizen, my parents. And mentor, like kind of educational or professional person, I would say my university professor David Hornsby. I think he did a great job of making everything kind of make sense and he was so passionate about his the subject that he taught, which was linguistics, and I think that's where I developed such a passion for the English language. Even though he taught me linguistics, French linguistics, it really, it was so incredibly infectious, and it kind of made everything make sense and make me realize what my big passion was. And yeah, great mentor, great guy. I would absolutely love to be able to fly. I would. I'd go on holiday whenever I wanted, cheap airfares. I'd go and just fly around the city, go up to the top of the football stadium, watch the game for free. It'd be a great money saver and it'd be a lot of fun. The strangest compliment I've ever got was that I've got nice teeth. I didn't even think nice teeth was a thing, but yeah, 2 people told me I've got nice teeth, and I ended up marrying one of them. It obviously had a very positive effect on me. Right, best piece of career advice I heard was this. Find something you love doing and then find someone who will pay you to do it. If you don't know what to do with your life professionally, that's pretty good advice. The worst, I can't even remember, to be honest with you. I don't really, you know what, when I get advice that's just not relevant to me, it just totally goes over my head. I might go, but honestly, it goes in one ear, out the next, and it's instantly forgotten. So I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Alright, there you go. Maybe you've learned a little bit more about me in this lesson. Remember to write your questions for me in the comments below. If I get a good number of questions, I will do another conversational video like this for you. Alright, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.